Hi, I'm Mike Romick, Worldwide TSS Global Lab Manager, and I'm here today talking with three important members of my operations team. We have Steve Esposito, Lab Manager of our Solutions Lab located here in Andover, Massachusetts, Tim Schaefer, Lab Manager of our Global Lab in Alpharetta, and Ram Kumar, who manages our Global Lab in Bangalore, India. I wanted to introduce these three people to the wider HPE community, as well as give them a chance to talk for a minute about some interesting aspects of the Global Labs program. Let's start with you, Steve. Steve, you were responsible for managing the efforts to construct the lab infrastructure here in Andover. If I remember, that was quite a daunting task. Why don't you walk us through the process that you used to create this world-class infrastructure?
Thanks, Mike. There are three main stages to building and implementing a new lab. They're planning, design, and implementation. Let's talk about the first stage, planning. Planning is the building block to the other stages. If you plan properly, then the design and implementation will go much easier. The most important thing in planning would be a site visit. You need to see what the environment looks like in order to plan properly. If you feel satisfied with the site, then it's time for the design stage. In the design stage, you will need to decide on the floor plan with locations of hot and cold aisles and where your equipment will be located. We also need to decide on the location of network and storage cabs. This is usually in the center of the lab where cable runs are shortest. This makes the design more manageable and helps keep costs lower since cables are very expensive. Power distribution is important as well. Make sure in your design that you handle power distribution to all rows in a way that handles all your equipment needs. The most important thing here is to make sure you follow your business needs. If you must move a lab from point A to point B, you want to make sure you have as little downtime as possible. You will need to decide that in advance. Moving in a phased approach is usually the best way to do things. Your plan will already have decided how this move will work. Project managers are always a good resource to help you achieve your goals. As you get equipment moved into your new space and online, test your equipment to be sure everything is in working order. Communicate with your users and management and keep them up to date on your progress. Good luck with your new lab space.
Thanks, Steve, for that insight. The Global Labs are clearly a world-class operation and is due to the consistency that you have in the processes that you've put forward. One way to get a great appreciation for the Global Labs is to tour one of our fine facilities. The next person, Tim Schaefer, is going to walk you through what he does on a day-to-day basis to share that infrastructure with our important customers. Tim, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Thanks, Mike. One of the many facets of our daily operations is providing lab tours to HPE executives, customers who are on site considering sales, or groups of engineers that are on site doing training. The Global Lab team takes a tremendous amount of pride in providing access and maintaining our state-of-the-art environments. The Global Labs do show extremely well, and even though it is a lab environment, we treat them like data centers. With our lab engineers, state-of-the-art infrastructure, and enterprise management tools, we are ensuring we are available as often as possible. The primary purpose of our infrastructure is to provide access to the enterprise-level assets needed to replicate customer environments for HPE. And when it comes to sales executives and other internal resources, we highlight the vast amount of product from legacy to cutting edge that is available for access physically and remotely through our LabRat application. And of course, we are always happy to show this environment to customers that have questions or concerns about the level of support we can provide. And the Global Lab is definitely a differentiator in the level of service we have to offer. As I say during our tours, we are the shiniest tool in the tool belt for the enterprise group.
Thanks, Tim. It's always great to hear how customers enjoy touring our lab. Of course, the main function of the Global Lab is to enable support engineers to quickly resolve customer problems. Ram, why don't you share with us a bit about how your team helps with this process and the impact it has on important HPE customers?
Thanks, Mike. We duplicate complex customer setups in the Global Lab to understand and resolve the issues reported. I will share two recent examples. One of the recent customer case involved a banking customer in France. The customer had issue with multiple BL460 servers that were using FLB536 network card. The customer wanted to return all the servers as they could not do auto deployment of VMware. The case was hot and Global Lab was brought in to resolve. Using the setup available in the lab, the issue was isolated to customer's environment and the customer changed the scripting which they had used at their end. This resolved the case for the customer. Another escalation involved a customer in Australia. The issue reported spanned across multiple technologies involving blade servers, FlexRun module, 3-part storage. The customer could not boot from SAN. The issue was isolated to the ISO image the customer was using, and the FCOE driver was slipstreamed to resolve the issue. Having multiple technologies in the global lab that can be interconnected quickly helps HPE resolve complex customer setup quickly, making them customer for life.
Hey, thank you very much, Ram. That's a great illustration of the power that the Global Lab brings to our HPE customers. I'd like to thank all three of you for sharing your experiences and providing some insight on how we create customers for life. Thanks, guys.